Hello, beautiful people. Hello, how are you? I hope everything is going well. I just published a video. I hope you've gone to see it. I was also in the Popcorn Palace. I hope you go watch me after this. I was with Kinsey Schofield, with Sue Smith, Steph the Alter Nerd, and of course, Andy. It was a lot of fun. So thank you very much for watching that. Thanks for watching my videos. Thank you. I'm waiting for my guest. Hopefully, you'll be here on time. If not, you'll have to do with me for a while until my guests get there. I was going to do a live today with Taz, but Taz is busy today. So hopefully we'll get it done next week. But I have another guest coming on, but I don't want to say who it is until my guest gets in. But anyways, today is Meghan Markle's birthday. If you just saw me at the Popcorn Palace in the live that I did with them, it's actually quite a few points were brought up, about Meghan Markle, about her wanting to run for president, about her, all these crazy things that are going on about this woman. And the reason why these theories are put out there, so they're crazy, is because they don't know where to put her. Plain and simple. They don't know where to put her. Oh, thanks so much. my guest is coming on. And I couldn't tag my guest, and I'll explain to you why in a second, because I'll tell him too. No, my special guest will never be Meghan Markle, because Meghan Markle would never put herself in a position where she actually has to answer questions live. Yes, that city in the background. You saw her. Did you hear city in the background at Popcorn Palace? I swear to God, she is. I look lovely, really. Thank you. I will take the compliment. Thank you guys. Thank you guys very much. Yeah, Linda, thank you so much. Yeah, she's healthy now. Next week she's getting operated. But anyways, let's all wish Meghan Markle a happy birthday today. It is, that the interview that they did with the young people, it was actually taped in May. Not a lot of people think it was taped just now, but it was actually taped in May. Okay, my guess is the angry Bootnik, and I couldn't tag him because I think he's been banned again or on a strike from YouTube. So so I couldn't tag him, and I tried, so I couldn't tag him. So hopefully he's trying to come on right now. Oh, there he goes. Matt, what happened to you?
I've literally just jumped out the shower. It was
no. Why couldn't I tag you? I tried to tag you to advertise the video, and I can't tag you. Are you banned again?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
I told you this time.
I made a video about some guy who was.
I saw you on Rumble.
The guy. Yeah, that one. That's why they banned me. Yeah.
No,
I mean, seriously though, everybody who pays attention knows that it's total nonsense, and these policies that they say they have are just applied with a scattergun to people who they don't like, because it's nonsense. Like, I've seen other people covering that exact same incident on YouTube, but when I do it, and I even read the violence policy, and it was like, oh, blood, like a bit of blood, a lot of blood, or like gore, and there's no blood. It's a guy getting his ass spanked, which I'm sure any 10-year-old would find funny, but apparently not.
Not YouTube.
No, not YouTube.
Goodness. That's why I couldn't tag you, because I kept going. And usually when I put the people show up and you can tag them, but you wouldn't just show up. So
I'm on the naughty step. Well,
today's Meghan Markle's birthday. And then there's this, they've been actually out and about, and I was thinking a lot. I did a video today about how Remember the claw? How they even so many YouTubers. I never did a video about the claw. Like how she grabs the man. I just thought, uh, eh, but it is incredible. That there was. I don't know if you've seen their pictures. I don't know how to do it. I should make you an admin on this account because then I'm sure you'll be able to put pictures up. While we talk. I don't know how to do that,
Right.
but that this woman walks out on her own. You wouldn't be able to tell that Harry's her husband. He's like, there's the middle guy in the middle, and then he way back, and then he's leaning in the car because she's the VIP and she's going in there. I mean, and you know what I was thinking? I actually was just on a live on Popcorn Palace, and I said to them, I can guarantee you the minute they're talking about Meghan Markle needing a PR machine, right? And she has the most powerful one, which is Harry Emanuel. And I said, he doesn't need one. He's a fucking prince. No, really. The minute, and I said it because I really do believe this, because I do believe you. When you said that if Harry and Meghan were to get divorced, people would embrace him. And it's so funny, Matt, the reaction I got first, no, there's absolutely no way that he will be welcome. And then
it was very unpopular, wasn't it, that opinion? Yeah.
But then it started to slowly change in the video. I don't know if you guys saw me at the Popcorn Palace. Then they started, well, if he dumped her and then he fought really hard for the kids and came back, then yes, we can clear. Yeah, and then I said, listen, I will give you a name, Camilla Parker Bowles. I mean, this woman was the most hated woman.
Everyone hated her, didn't they?
And they go, oh, she worked really hard. No, she didn't. She stayed out of the limelight.
Yeah, I told you though, because, well, there's two reasons, right, why people are forgiving. Number one is, I'm a people person. I do think more highly of people than a lot do. I don't think most people are horrible. I think most people are quite nice. So I think if you give people a proper apology, then it means a lot. And in your own life, and I'm sure in everybody listening's lives, we've had issues with people, we've had fallouts with people. If someone makes a genuine apology, it's worth a lot. And it tugs at your heartstrings, and people are forgiving. And the second reason why, and this is me having a dig at women, because I love doing that, right? I love how you ladies blame everything on us. Well, I read a statistic online, and they said, I think they claimed that 70% of the misogynistic abuse sent to women on social media was sent by other women, which totally makes sense, because men, we're dogs. We just want to sleep with women. We don't go online going, oh, women, you're all ugly. We all hate you. That's other women. And women do prefer men. I mean, everybody knows this. Kids, when you've got children, men prefer women, women prefer men. Because funny old thing, we've been procreating with each other for the last 3 million years, however long it's been. And because Harry's a bloke, what I'm saying here is I agree with the militant feminists that I think there is a sort of misogynist sort of outlet to society. But my disagreement is I don't believe it's all coming from men. I think it's from women. And if Harry makes a full-on apology and says, listen, I got bewitched by this horrible, vindictive, narcissistic whorebag, I think the men and the women will go, yeah, well, we have always liked Ginger more than me again. And I think men and women would be more likely to forgive. I don't think it'd work the other way around. I think if he dumped her and she was like, oh, he was so cruel to me, everyone would be like, yeah, suck it, bitch. But I think if Harry plays the victim and says, oh, I'm a bit stupid and I was manipulated by this lying American slapper, I think everyone will be like, oh, all right then. Like, do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying I agree with that or I like the guy, but society being misogynistic, I blame that on other women. I don't think it's men keeping women down. I think it's women
you're
having
right,
a pop at other women.
Right, but it was incredible how I said at the Popcorn Palace, I said, well, I can guarantee you, then we're talking about the PR. Harry doesn't need it. All he has to do is go back to Buckingham Palace, and Buckingham Palace takes over. And that's the PR machine. And
with his tail between his legs.
We'll never take it back. And then they started changing. Well, maybe if he fought for the kids, maybe if he did, of course they will take him back, And I even hear some people, he has complete lack of accountability because the poor guy is ginger and thick.
Everybody can see that. He's a plank, isn't he? He is. He's still reading the Gruffalo, the Very Angry Ladybug, children's novels. He's a bit of an idiot, and I think everybody can see it. And I think if you combine that with the Royals' PR machine, the fact that everybody knows he's a moron, a proper apology, and he scurries over between his tails with his legs, and finally the fact that Meghan Markle is clearly a narcissistic sociopath and the brains behind that couple. I think it'd be easy for him to get people back on side. And then obviously my last point about women, because as I've said, women don't like other women. I've said this to my wife. I can't believe how much everybody has.
That goes over very well in your household. Does it?
It does, because she's sensible, my missus, and she knows. I've always been astounded how when people have an affair, everybody gangs up on the woman. Like, when...
That's very much true here in Latin America. You know that if a man cheats on
Latin Americans, yeah.
Like, no, if a man cheats on a woman here, she's such a terrible woman that he had to go look for solace elsewhere.
Exactly.
If a woman cheats on the man, what a freaking bitch she is.
What a whore. Yeah, and that's what, it's weird. As a normal sort of rough and tumble bloke, I find women to be a little bit scary in that respect. Like, I don't get it. Because to me, if I had an affair with a woman, the blame is entirely on me. You can't blame the other woman, because she doesn't have any loyalty to this marriage. She's an outsider. But everyone attacks the other woman, like, and called them a home wrecker. And I get annoyed by that, because A, it seems irrationally unfair to the women, and B, it seems like you're letting the guy off a bit lightly. Like, it's the bloke's fault. If you made a solemn vow to be faithful to your wife and you break it, it's not the woman's fault, the third party. It's your fault. But everybody, including all of the women in society, seem to go, look at that bitch, home wrecker. It's like, well, what about the bloke? And that element is one of the big things, I think, behind Prince Harry not being irredeemable. The fact that our society is like that. Meghan Markle is so easy to hate, and Prince Harry's so stupid, and he's got that big network behind him. I think he'd be able to pull it off. He'd just have to do the old tail, slink home with his tail between his legs and give a thorough apology, and everybody would jump on the yes. Let's all blame Meghan
They'll
Markle.
put him to play with children. Oh, this is what Harry was born to do, playing with children.
Yeah.
This is what Meghan did. She took her dim-witted idiot, and he used to play with kids. And it's insane that she's gonna be front and center at the Invictus Games. And they're doing this September 9th, a day after the Queen's thing, just to maximize.
Yeah,
that is going to be like a huge world event about the Queen's, first anniversary death, the death of her.
People underestimate how easily led the general public are. The general public do as they're told. Look how we are with the mainstream media in Silicon Valley. Everybody gets programmed, and it's only a smaller minority of people who think for themselves. And I'm telling you, if the whole of the British establishment was behind trying to give Harry a popularity contest, it'd be easy. They'd have him out front of Buckingham Palace on a pogo stick with like little Louis, one of the cute kids. They'd have him playing with Louis on a pogo stick out the front of Buckingham Palace. And within a week, all the women back home would be going, oh, he's all right, Harry. It's easy.
He's just too thick.
You can't blame him. He's a moron.
Everybody wants to bewitch, especially since Meghan Markle has a track record that's very public, and that Buckingham Palace has been able to manage Harry's track record or bad track record better,
Yeah.
But you're a veteran. How do you feel about him taking Meghan to the Invictus Games? And they're exploiting the veterans.
I know they are.
And stuff.
Well, it's always only been about self-serving, hasn't it? I don't think I'm so cynical about them now. I don't think anything they do is to serve in service of other people. Certainly not that. I mean, literally, what did he do? It's not like he was sitting there at 2:00 in the morning with all these spreadsheets going over all the marketing stuff. He didn't do any work. He just put his name on it and rocks up and shakes a few people's hands. I don't think anything they do is in service of other people. Especially Meghan Markle serves herself.
Yeah.
I mean, most politicians are the same, but even Meghan Markle makes them blush. Right? Nobody thinks, we call them public servants, but nobody thinks they actually are. The president of any country, Trudeau or Biden or Sunak or any of the scumbags in the European Union, do you think these people actually serve the public? They don't. They serve themselves. So why would Harry and Meghan be any different? You almost can't blame them.
No, I know, but still, it's because they portray themselves as these huge humanitarians. They did that video that they recorded back in May, but they just released talking to the youth about, I mean, disinformation. These are two of the biggest people. I mean, and you know what? I'm sick and tired, Andy. I'm sorry, Matt. I am sick and tired of people calling it disinformation. It's lies and
I
slander.
know. Pet hater, man.
And you get banned for speaking and giving an opinion, and they are allowed to use huge platforms to continue lying about others.
I get banned for comedy. None of my stuff's serious. That's a comedy video laughing at the majestic sound of a thief being played like an instrument by two Sikhs armed with a broom. There's nothing. In fact, I've got a link from Rumble. I'll put it in your chat. You can watch that. If anybody finds that offensive, please let me know, because I don't see how any part of it is harmful. As I said, that's just another.
No, but it's just so funny because I've seen, it is. I don't know what's going on, but these, I mean, I don't know why the press, and they go, oh, the Beckhams are fighting with them. It's like Harry and Meghan are actually manipulating very, very stupid youth, because we know that when we were young, we were idiots, and the youth today is even worse than we were.
Yeah,
so they're like, oh my God, this surprise call with cameras and lights and everything, it's like, I mean, I am absolutely shocked that and this is for them to make it kinder in the internet. That's called censorship. Harry said that the First Amendment in the United States is bonkers.
They're all power mad, aren't they? They're obsessed with power, and they're obsessed with policing people's behaviour. The voting age thing's a great one. Like, I mean, I think we talked about this a couple of months ago. It is clearly just an attempt to cheat. That is just an attempt to cheat in elections, because we know how they vote. We've all seen the numbers and we've all seen the demographics. That's just legalised cheating. The SNP in the UK are like, oh, we'll put voting down to 14. The 14-year-old, that's just legalised cheating. You might as well let the dead vote, because that's just legalised cheating. Everybody knows that the reason the voting age is where it's at is because you have to be an adult to grasp concept issues. The idea that isn't it a lunatic world we're living in when we have age limits on buying cigarettes, buying alcohol, going to the casino, even going to the movies? When you're 14, you're not allowed to go and watch a film you like at the cinema. Oh, yeah, but you should be deciding public policy. Do me a favour. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And everybody knows it, because everybody watching this knows the inherent common sense and logic behind that statement I've just made. Because anybody watching this, yourself included, myself, even slightly older people, if we had a crisis going on in our lives, something was going wrong, we had financial troubles, we had health troubles, we just lost our jobs, who would you turn to for advice? Would you talk to your mum, or would you ring your 14-year-old niece and say, hey, I've got some problems. I really need your help with this one, kid.
Yeah.
Nobody turns to 12 or 13-year-old children for life advice, because they don't know anything. So to me, that is just legal cheating. That's the left, the commies, the authoritarians, the likes of Trudeau and AOC and all of these people. That's just them looking for a legal way to cheat if you're just going to give 14-year-olds the vote.
And Trudeau just getting divorced, then they announced they're going to separate. Did you see that?
Oh, I'm convinced him and Macron were having a little bit of a dalliance. Also the French. And those boys will shag anything. You know what the average Frenchman's like? A Frenchman will shag a barbershop floor. So I don't even know. I don't know. But there's been a few pictures of them in quite a tender clinch. So maybe she walked in on Justin giving Macron a reach around.
Well, the thing is that, what's her name? Sophie Trudeau. Meghan, remember when she did the archetype? She said that Sophie had come and spent the summer with her, or some sort of vacations with her.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think is going on here? I think he's gay.
I think a big black strap-on fell out of Sophie's luggage. And when Meghan and Harry saw it, they went, what's that for? And then she blushed and put it away quickly. Yeah, I don't even know what to make of it. It's a funny conspiracy theory. Trudeau and Macron are shafted each other. But either way, I'm more inclined to believe the numerous stories that have come out about him being sexually predatory. There's been dozens of stories from women, and very, very young women in the last few years, come out about Trudeau. So I think he's more likely to just be a serial cheater or a sex pest
Actually, she who's a cheater.
But he might be. And again, she could be as well. But again, they're all French, or everybody. The British know this. There's nothing more worthless than a French marriage vow. I mean, who knows? They're probably all shagging each other, aren't they?
But do you think that's going to affect his election? Because people are talking that it's going to affect his election thing.
I don't think that's relevant, because I remember when I talked to Despot, one of my favorite YouTubers who talks about movie reviews, and I said to him, I really don't like...
Who is he? Sorry.
He's called the Despot of Antrim. He's a movie reviewer.
The Despot of what?
Antrim. It's a place in Northern Ireland.
Okay.
But he's great. And I remember talking to him and saying to him, I don't have any crook for the when it comes to cinema, people say a movie's too long. I don't believe that that's the case, because if you watch a fantastic film like, I don't know, The Godfather 2 or something, it doesn't matter how long it is. There's no such thing as a too long movie. If it's a fantastic film, it doesn't matter how long it is. And with regards to the likes of Trudeau's personal life, I think if you're doing a fantastic job of running a country, it doesn't really matter what your personal life looks like. Look how popular Trump is with his base, and everybody knows he's a typical playboy billionaire.
Who's that?
Trump. He's obviously...
He was indicted again, wasn't he?
But I'm saying he's obviously shagged behind his wife's back, and he's obviously got his personal issues. Nobody cares. If you're doing
like Bill Clinton.
If you do a good job of governing, people will forgive anything in your personal life. And that makes a lot of sense. If you're an investor and you've got an investment fund manager who you know for a fact is going to make you hundreds of millions of dollars, but he likes going to strip clubs and he cheats on his wife, who cares? Who cares? It is. I'm in the middle on this. I'm not a complete libertarian. Think it should be totally irrelevant. I'm a centrist bloke, so I would like moral fortitude and behaviour from my leaders. But I also see, ultimately, it doesn't matter. We need results. Our politicians are so incompetent. If you're a bit of a train wreck in your personal life, I don't care, as long as you're doing your job well. So personally, I don't think the fact that he might be a pervert or his wife's cheating on him or he's gay or whatever is going to do him in at the next election. I think what's going to do him in is the fact that he's grossly incompetent and is probably the worst Prime Minister Canada has ever had. When he started seizing,
he keeps getting elected, to tell you the truth. I don't know.
When he started seizing people's bank accounts, I think that was the straw that brought the camel's back. And I think now Canadians are wise to him. He got by because he's got that narcissistic charm that so many bloody women like, i.e. they think he's relatively attractive. So they were like, oh, he's so charming and handsome. Oh, yeah, we'll vote for him. But I think he's shown his true colours now. And I think his performance as Prime Minister is going to do all the damage it needs to. His personal life's irrelevant. The bloke is completely shambolic. I honestly believe he's the worst Prime Minister that Canada has ever had in history as an independent country.
But why does he keep getting elected? I really don't understand that. How he manages to stay in power. I don't understand that.
Well, again, do you want my real take on it? My slightly sexist, middle-aged take on it? I think it's women in Canada, because he's superficially charismatic and charming, like a lot of narcissistic sociopaths are. And I think, I haven't even checked the demographics, but I bet you if I get on Google now, I bet you Trudeau won the women's vote by about 60-40. It's women in Canada, because he's superficially charming and handsome. So they all loved him.
I have never voted for him.
Well, I'll do it in the background now. Women vote for Canada. I bet you he got the majority. Because that is exactly what the bog standard Machiavellian psychopath is like. They're always sort of superficially charming. He was very, very popular with women in Canada, Trudeau. I've seen tons of opinion pieces in the shill media saying, oh, Trudeau's so handsome and charismatic. You know he'd be good with children. Oh, you know he'd be a good person. It's like, no, I know he looks to me like a Machiavellian sociopath, but he was very, very popular with soccer moms in Canada. So, yeah, I think that, if I'm going to be sexist about it, I think most of the blame goes on hockey moms in Canada. But ultimately, he is, on the surface, to the normie voters, he's handsome and charismatic and likable. And that's what got him in, because his performance on paper is abysmally woeful. As I said, on paper, he's the worst Prime Minister Canada has ever had. But on the face, if you're just a normie voter and you don't really read between the lines and you don't put too much attention into it, you just see him on the television every now and then dressed in a fucking Spider-Man costume or whatever stupid shit he's wearing now. You think, oh, he's quite handsome, and you don't think about it too much. Low issue politics is what's got us in this mess, because most people don't do too much reading. You and I are different because we're these militant YouTubers who spend all day talking about this shit. So we put a lot of effort in. But your average person who just is busy and they've got kids to feed and jobs to go to, they do 20 minutes a day on the news. And that's, watching the TV for 10, 15 minutes and maybe listening to the radio in the car. And to those people, they're just like, oh, he seems nice and he's handsome, I'll vote for him. You know what I mean? They don't really get into the macroeconomics, the social policies, the immigration policies, the monetary policy. I mean, fuck me. He's printed more money than fucking Biden has. He's just a money printer go burr for Trudeau. I mean, he's a fucking maniac.
It is terrible. I got to tell you, it is. So, yeah, I don't know if it's going to get voted on right now. I think he's hitting the end of the road kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He says here, Flora Bora. Trudeau has a minority number of seats, but Jagmeet Singh, the leader of the New Democratic Party, has put all seats together with the Liberal Party to form a majority. Just look it up. Is it true?
That may be true, but he's still got a good amount of power, hasn't he? Because it's not like, I don't believe it works the same in the United States as it does in the United States, i.e., it's not just a popularity contest between the guy who's in charge, right? They don't have a president.
Yeah.
So it's not like it is over here where they just have a popularity contest between two blokes. It's down to the party, isn't it? And the prime minister is the lead. The rest of the party picks the prime minister. So I don't think there's any threat to him being prime minister in the short term. I just think they can throw a spanner in the works when it comes to passing legislation and the likes. Same with Clinton. They did. So there you go.
It's pretty awful. It is pretty awful. What do you think about Joe Biden's sister endorsing Meghan Markle for president? I mean, I'm serious.
Yeah, that's why it's funny. That's why I'm laughing, because I read that as well. She might as well endorse the fucking fridge magnet hanging off my freezer for the fucking for the presidency, because it'll do as much work. I mean, Christ almighty, he's useless now. It's not like every year he ages, he's going to get better. Who gets more energetic as they age? This is what I don't understand about Biden. When you go back and watch his speeches when he was in his 40s, he was thick then. You seen him when he was 45, he was stupid. You go back and watch him on YouTube and you're like, this bloke's a fucking plank. Like, he is a human log, right? And now you've got people talking about Meghan Markle. She's not even a politician.
No, but not only that, she's very stupid. You know what I mean? And I mean, I don't understand why Joe Biden's sister. This is like, asking for what's his name, for Michael Jackson, and you get Tito endorsing you.
Then it's like I said, to be honest, that's just a funny side story. I mean, it's not really relevant. I don't think anybody seriously thinks she'll run. Really, like it's, to me, asking that is like asking the general of the armed forces, what he thought of the Barbie movie. Like, it's irrelevant because he's got nothing to do with it. Who cares what Biden's a moron. His sister's probably even thicker, and Meghan Markle is about as popular as a fart in a jacuzzi, right? Nobody cares about any of these people. So I don't think anybody.
But it is very surprising. I got to tell you, did you see that? I'm going to send you the interview she got herself into in Ukraine in 2014, a very pivotal year for Joe Biden, because as VP, he was there officially 4 times in Ukraine. And Meghan Markle harassed her ass, harassed the people of the University of Ukraine, and did that interview. And at the very end, I mean, she's talking that she's working in Hillary Clinton's campaign. Hillary Clinton's campaign didn't launch her campaign until April 2015. And nobody knew who she was. She was living in Toronto. You know, you didn't hear anything about Meghan Markle and Hillary Clinton's campaign or anything like that, you know.
Yeah.
But it is actually quite I'm not very much for conspiracy, but the fact that she's phoning Ukraine of all places in 2014, you know, this is not like Paris, a popular destination, you know.
Yeah.
But it's Ukraine in 2014 when Joe Biden was there as well, you know, and now you have Joe Biden's sister endorsing her.
The only thing she's got going for her is she's a born liar, and everybody knows she's a liar because she'll fit right in with politicians on Capitol Hill in America, won't she? If you're a born liar, that's where you're meant to be. So she has got that going for her. She's got that going for her. I just think that's a nonsense filler story by the media. That I don't think anybody seriously thinks that Meghan Markle's actually going to... I mean, she wouldn't even be daft enough to throw a hat in the ring, would she? Maybe she'd try to worm her way into some low-level position, like maybe get a seat somewhere, but I don't think that's even a story we need to worry about. Certainly in the short term. She's a fucking maniac.
Well, let me tell you something. Barack Obama was a very highly unlikely candidate, and he got very good endorsement and a lot of funding, and he became a president. If you look at the history of Barack Obama, he didn't really have that much experience or anything like that. He was a very young. He had like a couple of years in the ring,
Yeah.
you know, and suddenly he was up there. I mean, you had Ronald Reagan be president. I mean, I love Ronald Reagan. I know a lot of people hate him, but hello, Ragnar. How are you, Aaron Spear? But he turned out to be. I loved him. I loved Ronald Reagan as a president. I mean, this guy pretty much in the second time around, he got almost the entire United States to vote for him. I think it was only like one state that didn't vote for him.
Yeah, it was a landslide, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The other thing is you're thinking of, like I said to you, women are.
I'm sorry. I love Ragnar is here. I love his comment.
That's the conspiracy theory, isn't it? That's a good one. Although I'll tell you what, there's some good fuel for it after you've seen the picture of them out paddleboarding.
Oh my God!
Christ,
yes,
did you see that? Obama looks like a little weed. Obama looked like Elliot Page. You know, Obama with his shirt off looked like Elliot Page standing in the shade, and whereas Big Mike looked like Arnold Schwarzenegger doing the bench press in the gym. So that's a great bit of ammunition for the conspiracy theory. But you're forgetting with regards to Meghan Markle. Why do you think America's never had a female president? Because 50% of the voters are women, and they have to get the women's vote. They all talk about the Jew lobby or the black vote or it's the Hispanic vote. Women are half the country. And Meghan Markle is about as popular as a bastard at a family reunion. Nobody likes Meghan.
As Joe Biden's granddaughter, you know, the legitimate granddaughter. You know?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, think about it logically. Hillary Clinton is more likable than Meghan Markle. Everybody hated her. Meghan Markle's got no chance because 51% of America are women. And if you could stick 100 women in a room and ask 100 women who likes Meghan Markle in here, and you might get 2 put their hands up. So there's no way. Maybe if only men were still allowed to vote, maybe Meghan Markle would be in with a shot. But because women are much better judges of character, she's got no chance. Because 51% of the voting bloc are women, and they ain't going to vote for Meghan Markle. No fucking way.
Are you sure? You know,
everybody hates her.
That happened.
Nah, I'm not having it. The only people who like her are like thick young women. So maybe she could carry the sort of 18 to 27-year-olds.
You think?
But every woman over the age of 30 who has got a hole in her ass does not like Meghan Markle.
It's just that she's so, you know, she's such a liar, and I don't understand. She has this grandiose. She can't be natural, you know. If she had done a podcast with the things that she had, the platform that she had, the means that she has,
you know, and you know, she's so shallow.
Yeah,
she's so
but
shallow,
had she been natural, make fun of the things and be true, you know, about things. Oh, by the way, guys, you know, I just met this ginger idiot, and I just thought, you know what, he's my ticket out. You know, I'll tell you how to do it. I can guarantee you that podcast or that YouTube video would have been, you would have like millions and millions of watch how she lied about Harry and how she trapped him. Don't you think?
Yeah, honestly, she's so vain and shallow and narcissistic as well. She's going to get really, really ugly when she gets older, because you know what she's going to do?
Older, you mean? She's 42 today.
When she gets older, in the next few years, she's going to start kicking the ass out of the plastic surgery, isn't she? Because she's not the type of lady who's going to try and grow old gracefully. She's going to make Cher look restrained in the plastic surgeon's chair.
She's going to be like Joan Rivers. Remember that lady, Joan Rivers?
In 10 years' time, trust me, she's going to look like fucking Sylvester Stallone with a wig on. Like, I'm telling you, she will be 80% rubber. She'll have like big melted plastic lips, a fucking bent nose, and like a balsa wood fanny. Like, just, no part of her is going to be natural by the time she's 50. I'm telling you.
Oh my God. But no, but it's true, you know. But for me, I'm concerned because there's so many idiots in the US right now, young idiots.
I know. Well, like I said, 18 to 27. Who cares about them?
But you know, if she throws her hat in the ring, because you see, if Ari Emanuel cannot make a go of Meghan Markle, because she's not talented. If this Superman of agent can't make Meghan Markle famous, I mean, if she goes into politics, she will have to not use the title.
Well, like I said, the first problem is if she gets in there in the next sort of few years, the biggest issue is going to be figuring out the difference between Meghan Markle and Sylvester Stallone. So they'll have real issues with the branding and all the merchandise. If you squint, you'll be like, is that a fucking political fly, or is that Rocky's next film? And the second thing is
Creed 5.
Like I said, regarding the demographics, most people who vote are over 40. Like, the engagement for the younger people is really bad compared to older, middle-aged, etc. And as I said, with the demographics, with those numbers, and every year we've got a more aging population, someone as unpopular as her, she's got no chance. I don't believe it. You're right in saying young people maybe, but the under 30 vote in America is tiny. The biggest voting block is the 40 plus. And any woman who has an iota of life experience can tell her what she is 10 miles away. She's just a narcissistic, self-serving sociopath. And I don't believe that the middle-aged female community will accept it. So she would get destroyed. Like I said, every single woman over the age of about 35, if you put 1,000 of them in a room and said to them, who likes Meghan Markle here? You might get, what, 10? The only way she's going to win is if women stop being allowed to vote. If they get rid of women's suffrage, maybe she can pull it off. But if not, she's done. I think it's a no issue, Meghan Markle. She's vile. I never even disliked her up until like a few years ago when I started really looking into this issue, but she's fucking detestable. Seriously, if I had to get trapped in an elevator with Bill Cosby or Meghan Markle, I'd pick fucking Bill Cosby. And we know what Bill's going to get up to. I'd pick Bill Cosby and a case of gin. I'd rather be stuck with.
That's terrible. No, I mean, the thing is, you know, I was looking, because I've been looking so much on the internet. You know, we have that Trump was indicted again. And then we have like this Lizzo, this fat singer, you know, who was sexually harassing everybody apparently. And then she's like, and I mean, I don't understand why people are even shocked at these people who with zero morals or anything like that. We have like, what's it called? The one that goes like, what's the name? Cardi B. All the time. And it's like she's throwing the mic at somebody after she asked people to splash her, you know, and then they throw water at her, and then she throws the mic at her, and now she's being sued. You know, there is so much moral bankruptcy right now in the United States, or in the world, really, because it's, you know, it's an entitlement. And I really believe that Harry and Meghan are at the top chain of entitlement.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when he was not turning up for his court case on time, shows you how entitled he is, doesn't it? It's literally like even Elton John would turn up for the fucking court case on time. It's pure entitlement. Well, as you say, though, they're at the very top of the street, the royal family in the UK, aren't they? So you almost can't blame Harry because he's had it his whole life. That's what entitlement is, isn't it? It's like when you have a spoiled kid. Entitlement is because they've always had it. so they don't really value what they've got. That's like the dictionary definition of entitlement. It's not when you're born broke and then when you're in your 40s, you've got shitloads of money, so you think you can do whatever you want. That's not really classed as entitlement, is it? They don't call like NBA players, because so many of them are born broke, don't have a dad, really got no money, and all of a sudden when they're 30, they're worth $100 million. We don't really call them entitled, do we? It's why they always buy like shitloads of gold and stupid cars, because they're worse with money than like drunk sailors in Las Vegas. It's not entitled. Entitlement is when you've had it your entire life.
Like Harry.
Like Harry. So Harry is entitled, but I think that's a different sort of thing, isn't it? It's still irrelevant to any political machinations of the Hartles, really. I think
I think Harry's entitled because that's what he's used to.
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah, you almost can't blame them. Entitlement is what it is, isn't it? If they've had it their entire life, they don't. The reason it grates on you is because they're not thankful for anything. And at least if you're a poor guy made good, like a rapper or a basketball player or something, at least we know that they understand what it's like to be broke ass poor. Like nobody thinks 50 Cent was entitled when he was 10. You know what I mean? So it is different, isn't it? And I think entitlement
absolutely. But with Harry, something, and I was thinking, because I was also at the Public Palace and they were talking about Harry, and I said, Harry doesn't show on court. He doesn't apologize. He's expected that people know that he's royal. And you know what? I don't show to court. You can't do anything about it. And indeed, nothing happened to him. No. I mean, the judge, when he wasn't there, was angry. But when Harry showed up, he didn't tell him anything. You know?
I know.
Or
I'll tell you what, though, regarding that Lizzo, I used to joke about this, like, before it became a thing. I remember, like,
wait. Can you tell people? Because some people are asking, what did Lizzo do?
Apparently, I don't know how true it is. I'm just telling you what I've read. Apparently, Lizzo forced the dancers to do inappropriate things. And the worst thing I read was that apparently two of them were asked to, how can I put it delicately, jam a banana in one of their orifices and then allow someone to eat the banana out of it during.
Oh my God, but from her, and oh my goodness, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, apparently penetrating the dancers with fruit and vegetables is quite normal on Lizzo's tours.
But why didn't they say anything? Why are they only speaking out now?
Well, I mean, one good theory I have for that is because they always tell you, in boxing, a good big man always beats a good small man. If I was a fucking dancer and a 350-pound behemoth with a head the size of a fucking recycling bin, like Lizzo turned up in front of me, I would shit my pants. Have you seen her? She's got fingers like sausages. If I was a fucking dancer and Lizzo was threatening me, I'd do whatever she told me. If Lizzo kicked my front door off its hinges and forced me to go down on it, I would go, hey, please don't crush my skull.
But also her position of power, in this woke Hollywood that they have, when she showed up at the Emmys with that, really flaunting her fatness, that's okay not to be proud of your body, but she was, I think, showing her ass and stuff like that. It was really disgusting.
Well, I'm judgmental. See, on this one, I disagree with you. On most cases, I seem a little bit more, what would you call it, agreeable than you. But on this one, I'm disagreeing with you entirely. I think there is something wrong with flaunting fatness, because
no, I agree. I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying that for people, I'm not fat shaming anybody. I mean, if you're fat, it's not a thing. I mean, for fat, but Hollywood was celebrating her fatness, calling her beautiful.
Oh well, that's what I'm saying. I'm all behind. This is where I'm politically incorrect. I'm all behind fat shaming, because I'm an ENTP personality. All I care about is facts. I don't care about your emotions, right? And we know for a fact that being obese is responsible for tens of millions of deaths in the Western world every year. Diabetes, heart disease, several types of cancer, everything. To me, we should have a zero tolerance policy for this so-called, body positivity movement. I think it's criminal. That I have no shame in that. I'm very, very socially liberal and forgiving on nearly every issue. But this idea that we now promote kids being
No,
little,
I
fat,
don't. You know,
roly-poly,
like I'm a
I've got no time for
54-year-old
that.
woman. I'm 5'7", and right now I'm the heaviest I've ever been. I'm 136 pounds. You know, I used to be anorexic. I went down to 82 pounds, which was not healthy. People do not become anorexic. That's the worst thing. People still call me thin, you know, right now because of my height and my weight. But I've always been athletic. I've never endorsed. But I'm surprised that people say, "Oh, look how body positive she is wearing
Oh,
that."
it's
Like
disgraceful.
for us, I think she was wearing like a G-string or something like that. I can't.
How the fuck did they get that out? It must have took a team of lumberjacks to pull that G-string out of her fucking... You could park a plane in the crease in her back, couldn't you? The thing is, right, this is what I'm saying. I've always had the opinion that the elites that run the world now genuinely do want the worst for you. And my theory came from the BBC because all my channel for years has been about pouring through the nonsense on the BBC website and just mocking it. And what became clear after years of doing it is that the BBC constantly promotes the worst excesses of human behavior. We know what's good for us and we know what's bad for us. It's 2023. We know the science. We know what's good for us and we know what's bad for us.
Well, apparently we don't know the science because they just had to sign a bill in Oklahoma to define what a woman is. And finally, they have some states are banning transgender in female things. You know, apparently we need to know to define what a woman is nowadays.
It's bollocks. But regarding that, it's what I'm saying. We know what's good for us. And we know that working and eating healthy and going to the gym and having a family and friends and hobbies, we know that's good for us. And we know all the things they promote now, the psychopaths that run the world, we know it's bad for us. On the BBC, they're always promoting promiscuous sex, threesomes, polycules, all this bollocks. They're promoting overeating. They're saying, here's the surprising health benefits of being obese. This is a global thing whereby the psychos that run the world want you to be miserable. Because if you're miserable, you'll do as you're told. It's perfectly logical, isn't it?
Mi amor, te llamo luego que estoy en un live con Matt, ¿oíste? That was my son, and I always make a policy of I was always answering the phone so he knows his mother's here for him. But go ahead, Matt.
That's a good policy. But you know what I'm saying? They want the worst for us. The people in charge want the worst for us. And Lizzo being constantly promoted is proof of that. It's not conjecture. It's not
Cardi B, like wet that pussy.
Oh my God, it's disgraceful. And this is what I'm saying. So what we know, there's no positives to being a total whorebag and sloshing when you walk, right? Cardi B is an absolute sack of rats. We know that it's bad for us. We know eating excessively kills us young, and we know sleeping around can give you STDs, single motherhood, which is where you end up broke and your kids hate you. We know all these things, drug addiction and substance abuse, and the powers that be promote all of it. So I've got no time for that. I think Victoria's Secret is way better. People say, oh, it's harmful pushing people to be slim. Well, maybe on the rare occasions that you become full on like bulimic, that is harmful, but it is nowhere near as harmful as obesity. I mean, think of the numbers. The problem isn't that the world's full of people that are too skinny. The problem is that the world's full of people that are too fat. So sitting here and go, oh yeah, but we don't want to promote being anorexic. How many people are anorexic and how many people are fucking obese? Just look at the numbers. We have not got a problem in America where the doctors are like, fucking hell, there's too many skinny bastards. That's not happening. What's happening is 60% of the country are fat knackers who are so tubby and roly-poly. When the girls cut the leg shaving, marshmallow foam comes out in America. That's what the problem is. The blokes put the belts on with boomerangs, and we're all saying, oh, everyone's getting too skinny. It's fucking nonsense. No way.
Well, they're using trans. Guys, I'm not joking. They're using trans. They're using men for like women, and they're using fat women. I mean, you know, when you look at, you look at Victoria's Secret. I remember I used to look at them and like you try to be maybe not that skinny, but you try to be healthy, and to look that good. And they put these big women and these men, these woman. No, they're trans men. It's not. They're not women. They're trans men or trans women. I don't even know what to call them anymore. No, I'm serious. It's so confusing.
Manshees.
No, but they have it. I mean, it is something that I really don't know, like this is, so when you say, you don't need to, the science is behind. There's this lady that she's suing the airline because they refuse to give her 2 seats and they're making her pay for 2 seats because she's that big.
It's fucking, surely that is the definition of fairness. Basically, we should all get ourselves and our luggage weighed, and the total weight should be how much you pay. That'd be fair, wouldn't it? Then it's as fair as it possibly gets. It's literally by the pound. So the way you and your luggage, and then you get your price. Because, like, I mean, I would literally go traveling with a sock and a toothbrush if it was done like that. You want to talk about saving emissions? How about we get a few extra 1,000 kilos off the planes? That'll save on emissions. I think that's totally reasonable. And these fat whingers, as usual, are playing the victim when they're not the victims, they're the aggressors. I even read a story that said fat people are more likely to kill people in car accidents because when they hit the brakes on the car, it doesn't stop as fast, so they're more likely to kill you in a car accident. So the fatties are doing all the damage, eating all the food, causing all the emissions, and killing people in the car accidents, but they're all going, oh, look at me, I'm the victim. You're not a victim, Lizzo. You're a big fat troglodyte with a face only a mother could love. And
but
I'm
it's
sick of these
incredible
people
that all these lawsuits are coming, and now we have Dan Wooden. Have you heard anything about Dan Wooden? Finally, somebody suspended him or something like that. But
well, we talked about that, didn't we? I don't like Dan Wooden. There's something creepy about
but
him.
what's happened since we talked about it? Remember that apparently he got suspended by Daily Mail. I don't know which column, but he's still on GB News.
Mail dropped him, but GB News didn't. And
he's still on.
Yeah, he's still on GB News. It's a queer one, that. I think we'll have to wait for more information to come out. But I would say my gut is to not be a big fan of Dan Wooden. There's something creepy about him, and his eyes are a little bit too close together. So that, I don't know, there's just something about him that's weird. I'm not really a big fan.
But you know what bothers me? That he didn't wait for Philip Schofield or Hugh, the guy, for more information. He was pounding on them way before.
Well, I mean, people that have got something to hide are usually the most judgmental, aren't they? I mean, we've all said that. That's why wokeism is like performative nonsense. I've always said that, like, to girls, any of the lasses who follow my channel. I'm like, if you're like going on a date and the bloke is a little bit rough around the edges, but he seems nice, you're way better off with someone than one of these woke blokes who sits there all day and night going, oh yeah, I'm an ally, I'm a feminist, yeah, I'm with her, pussy hat. That guy's probably got 6 teenage girls chained to the radiator in his fucking cellar. Like, those people creep me out. And that is the vibes I get from anyone. To me, anyone that is too judgmental and too quick to judge everybody else, I think they have got skeletons in the closet. So I've got
being accused of. What is Dan Wooden being accused of? And this byline, apparently they're very factual based kind of thing.
Yeah. It's on the Byline Times. So basically, they're saying that apparently he created aliases to demand sexually explicit. He didn't use his own name, but I can't remember the name of the alias, Martin something. And they said that he was like intimidating, harassing, paying people, using his. He was. Do you know? Have you ever seen The Wire, where they make up sources so they can get excuses for warrants? It's almost like he was doing that with his journalism. He was getting like 500 quid from the Daily Mail or whatever to give to a source for one of his stories, but the source was just some bloke that he was after shagging. So they reckon it was a bit of like...
He's accused of fraud, basically using money instead of actually paying sources. He was actually getting off his rocks, and apparently he used to record these people without their knowledge too.
Yeah, the reckon he's a bit of a pervert, basically. So I don't think it gets any worse than minor fraud and a bit pervy. I don't think anyone's gone as far as to accuse him of being like a rapist or a pedo or anything.
There's the horrific name. Mike Branning.
Mike Branning, that's it.
Maria something. Oh my God, a woman.
If it's all true, he's just a bit of a slime ball, isn't he, and a shitbag.
But is that illegal?
Yeah, he's going to have broken some laws there. Certainly fraud. If you're defrauding your employer, getting paid by the Daily Mail or what have you, to say, oh, this is for an unnamed source, and he's just giving it to some bloke because he wants the bloke to meet him in the alley behind the gay bar for a quick topless hand shandy, then that's definitely fraud. But as I said, I don't think the right are anywhere near as judgmental or as deviant as the woke are. So I would assume that most people on this issue, like you and I, who are sort of centre left, centre right, in the middle or right, I would assume we're less likely to instantly play this stupid game where you defend people just because you feel you've got the same politics as them. Because to me, I don't care about your politics. I care about your, and this is a tenet of conservatism, right? I care about moral turpitude. I care about people's behaviour. And just because Dan Wootton appears to have slightly more in common politically with me than Owen fucking Jones or someone who works for The Guardian, doesn't mean I'm going to defend a guy if he's a pervert. So I'm not that interested in the story, and I'm not a big fan of Dan Wootton. But I wouldn't think most GB News viewers or most politically centrist people will give him a pass just because they think they share more of his politics. That's the game the woke play. The woke play this game where it doesn't matter what you do, they'll defend you. Like I said, Joe Biden could kick my kitchen door in and fucking bend me over this desk and roger me senseless in front of millions of people. And the woke would say, no, he didn't. Oh, it's a deep fake. And CNN and MSNBC wouldn't even talk about it. Yeah. CNN wouldn't even talk about it. You would think Bootneck gets bummed by the president would be frontline fucking news, but it wouldn't be because they don't even talk about it. Joe Biden has been taking money off China and Ukraine, and 50% of the American public don't even know about it. Because this game they play.
About that. Is there any news about that? And why? Because you can see Trump being indicted everywhere, but you don't see anything about the Bidens taking how much money they took.
No, well, that's what I'm saying, because they are degenerate psychopaths, and they play this game whereby if they like your politics, they will ignore anything you do. Theft, rape, robbery, drug addiction, anything. The photographs on Hunter Biden's laptop were it's child trafficking, it's paedophilia, it's rape, it's everything. And they don't care. You try and talk about it and they go, oh, yeah, but Trump's worse. It's like, I don't play that game. And I don't think most normal people, i.e. everybody that isn't woke, I don't think most normal people play that game. If Dan Wootton's done all that stuff they say he has, then he will get binned and fair play. Everyone will be like, yeah, he deserved that.
They were talking because they were talking that he used Johnny Depp's money because apparently he was getting sources. And he used Johnny Depp's money to do these things.
Yeah. So, like I said, the crimes appear to be basic fraud, possibly catfishing, maybe a bit of kinky photos, bribery, what have you. If it's all true, he'll get binned, and I think 9 out of 10 GB News viewers will happily see him go, and they won't defend him. This stupid, childish game where you defend people because you think they share your politics is ludicrous to every right-thinking person. So it's not even that big of a deal to everybody else, is it? The evidence will come out. The cards will fall well where they're made. If he deserves to get binned, he deserves to get binned. I'm not going to defend the guy, and I don't think hardly anybody will. It's the left who do that. As I said, that's what they do. AOC you could have CCTV footage of AOC fucking taking a shit on a migrant child's head, and they wouldn't do anything about it. They'd hide it, and they wouldn't tell anyone. That's the game they play out here. CNN and MSNBC and Silicon Valley, YouTube, Facebook, Google, they're all in on it. If Trump gets a parking ticket, they make it headline news for a month. If a left-winger is caught like that Jeremy Tubin, the guy on CNN. I bet you don't even know about that. And that was like a big deal. Jeremy Tubin was one of the big contributors on CNN. He was on a Zoom call with like 10 other people, and he thought his camera was off, and he was wanking himself silly.
Yeah, I
all the
heard
girls
about
were there.
that. What happened to that guy?
He's still on CNN because most people don't even know about it. Because it doesn't matter what you do. If you walk, they'll defend you. But if you're right wing and you get a parking ticket, they'll make that headline news for 6 fucking weeks. The BBC's the shame. All they do is talk about Trump. He hasn't been in office for 3 years. And every single day it's Trump, Trump, Trump. Trump swore at someone. Trump did this. They're not mentioning the fact that the entire Biden crime family, he's give dodgy money to his brother. He's give dodgy money to his son. His son's a sex pest, pervert, cokehead, degenerate people trafficker. None of it. Nobody cares. It's all, ooh, Donald Trump was rude once. I couldn't give a monkey's fart. And I don't think that anybody who's sane does. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, the cards will fall where they may. If he's a defrauding pervert, yeah, bin him. Toss him into the dustbin of history. I don't care.
No, but somebody left a comment here saying that Hunter Biden and Prince Harry will get a pass. Do you think that's the case? They renounced on this sweetheart deal that Hunter Biden, and this is why they're going after Trump now.
The only way we can stop it is if enough people are motivated to really get off their ass and do something about it. But as I said to you, it's why I'm very, very pessimistic, because as long as Netflix is still on and it's still easy to get fucking Buffalo Wild Wings or a pint of Ben & Jerry's, the general public in America is just apathetic. Short of a couple of, maybe a 10 million very animated Trump voters, the general public doesn't seem to care enough. And I think unless there is a gigantic waking up from the general public in the United States, they're all going to get away with it. If Biden wins in 2024, they're all going to get away with it. And I'm
I don't think he's going to run. I don't think he's going to run at all. And I really, part of me believes that the Democrats are actually ousting all this stuff about him to stop him from running, to tell you the truth.
Well, that's the theory. The theory is he's going to retire in the lead up to it. He can't say health reasons, because then they're admitting that he's been fucked for the last 4 years. The theory on the fringes is that they're going to come up with an excuse. He can say, we've got too much background noise, so I've decided I'm not going to run. And then they'll put some degenerate career piece of shit like Gavin Newsom. Honestly, I'd rather have fucking Ted Bundy running the country than Gavin Newsom. That guy is just a slimy, oily psychopath. But the plan, I think that might be plausible, because Biden has just got too many skeletons in his closet. But either way, what I'm getting at is if Trump doesn't win in 2024, they will all get away with it. And when you've got the mainstream media and Silicon Valley doing all your bidding for you, it's a mountain for us to climb. I live in hope that 2024 can just see a landslide of 100 million disenfranchised former liberals like me, actual conservatives, right-wingers, the centre-left, the centre-right, everybody coming out against these snakes. I hope that it happens, but I am very cynical, because there's too many enemies allied against us. This is why I'm saying it on your channel and not mine, because I'm banned. Because if you say things that they don't like, you get banned, you get silenced, you get crushed. It's going to be difficult. It's why I'm very cynical. I think when you've got, like 1984, every book's been rewritten. If Silicon Valley and the mainstream media and all the airwaves and the radio waves, because it's everything in America. I listen to NPR all the time. That's like their version of the BBC. It's just commie propaganda. I drive my car and I'm listening to NPR and I'm like, this could be like a Biden political party broadcast or something. It's
like in Cuba, when they don't get the news.
It is. It's like commie authoritarians run the United States now. So the CNN, MSNBC, NPR, New York Times, Washington Post, all the famous publications, YouTube, Facebook, Google, everything. All we've got on the right is what? Well, it's not even on the right. It's just allows you to talk. Is Twitter now, thanks to Musk, and Fox. and everything else is owned wholesale by the Democrat Party and the authoritarian globalist psychopaths. So I'm very, very cynical. I'm not expecting anything good to come out of 2024, but there's a
You never
glimmer of
know.
hope.
I mean, I really believe that the only way Trump can't be in power next year is if they kill him. Because I mean, even all these, he can be in jail for 50 years, and people will still choose him to be for president. I mean, people.
Yeah. Well, the Americans have got form when it comes to killing people. They don't like. Even Reagan got shot, didn't he? When he was only a month into his presidency, Reagan got shot.
Yeah,
so
but that's the only way to see it, because if Trump runs, which he's running, I think he'll win.
Yeah, but this is why I'm cynical, right? So I bear in mind I have accounted for this. What I'm telling you is I'm very pessimistic because they've got all the mainstream media, all the newspapers, all the radio waves, almost all of Silicon Valley, and they will shoot the bastard if he wins. So I'm very cynical. Like, there's too much allied against us. And Biden's got the FBI, the CIA, the Justice Department, the deep state, all of it. They've got everything. They've got the civilian media, they've got the state, they've got this intelligence services, they've got Silicon Valley. We've got a mountain to climb. And then at the very top of it, the last ledge to get over is they aren't averse to shooting you if they don't like you. So we've got a mountain to climb.
But this is why I'm saying in Meghan Markle, it's a possibility, because, I mean, they're looking for useful idiots. And I mean, they knew that Joe Biden had dementia. Yeah. They're going to think that Meghan Markle, I mean, they start small, like, oh, Joe Biden's sister's endorsing Meghan Markle. And apparently they ran some polls and everything. And that she's the same tight as Kamala Harris at 25%. She even beat the AOC. I mean, that's the state of affairs when people are actually considering Meghan Markle for president.
Yeah, well, we'll have to agree to disagree there. As I said, demographics are important. The female vote and the over 40s, they're the biggest. They're the biggest ones. And I don't think any woman over the age of 40 who's got two brain cells to rub together will vote for someone like Meghan Markle. Seriously, she's got all the charisma of a fucking AIDS leper from Chernobyl. She's got zero charisma. I'd rather go near a rattlesnake with a hangover than fucking Meghan Markle. So we'll have to agree to disagree on that. I can't see it.
Let's hope that you're right, because this is actually getting, to the point that's quite scary with this woman. I mean, the fact that this woman is allowed to lie. I mean, the lie, and I actually, in my video today that I did, I talked about, how they trashed the Commonwealth and allowed this woman to say, oh, it's colonialism 2.0. And I had to point out that out of the 56 countries, that this is a voluntary organization where countries join of their own free will. Out of the 56 nations that have willingly joined the Commonwealth, I think 36 are republics.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, I mean, everybody knows this. The modern authoritarian left just lie about history. They don't know any of it. If you actually look at the facts from the British, not just, I mean, you can't even just say the royal family. You have to look at the entire nation. They've attacked the nation. If you actually know the history of the British nation from day dot to now, you can't hate Britain. There's one-sided. Yeah, have they done everything perfectly? No, but when you really get into the weeds on it, the colonialism, look, all you have to do is compare them to what's around at the time. Anybody sensible knows this. It's why when your kids are complaining because the car isn't as nice as, the super rich neighbor that's got a Ferrari, you say to them, don't look up, look sideways, look around you. You're on the path to misery if you're comparing yourself with something so far out of bounds that you're never going to achieve it. You compare yourself to what's around at the time. And this is the issue with communism, right? They always say, oh, we just didn't do it properly. If we do it properly, we'll have this utopian society. And then the professors and the sensible political scientist types say, well, then compared to where? Instead of comparing it to a fictional utopia, point to one country where they've instigated it and hasn't killed everybody. So they're always comparing it to things that didn't exist. And that's what these people who despise the British Empire are doing when they have an irrational loathing and hatred for it. You can't compare them to something that's never, ever existed. You can only compare them to what actually existed. And when you compare them to the Spanish or the French or the Belgians or the Portuguese or anybody else, they weren't that bad. They weren't that bad. Or any empire. I mean, you go further back, they're even worse. The Japanese Empire in the 20th century, the Ottoman Empire, these aren't even that long ago. Look what they were doing. So people that slag off the British Empire, again, no one's saying the perfect.
No, but Meghan was the vice president of the Queen's Commonwealth Trust organization, you know, like the jewel, and she's doing this to trash the legacy of the Queen. And this is what I don't get it. This is why I don't get why the Invictus Games are allowing this woman to be there. Who's gonna pay for that? Because she's going to charge a fortune for really bad clothing instead of going to the veterans. She's going to be the moderator. She's going to be speaking all the time.
Well, they were just doing her a solid because she married Ginger. But it's all irrelevant now, isn't it? It's that everyone's marked her cards. They know what her true colours are. She's a lying, manipulative, yo-yo, knickered fucking harpy. And everybody hates her.
Well, do tell me how you feel about her.
Oh, I hate her. I hate her.
No, you know, I wouldn't have minded if she had been honest about it. I said it from the beginning. This woman, the minute she married Harry, she's gonna think of ways to get the hell out of there with the titles and try to be in Hollywood where she could never be on her own using the titles. Yeah. You know, and then
it just offends me how stupid Harry is. Prince, he was a prince. He literally, it offends me how stupid he is. He could have had anyone. He could have turned up. He could have went for like the hottest A-lister in the world, and he could have had him. And instead, he marries that fucking twice divorced, rancid spunk Bowser with a fanny like a axe wound in a gorilla's back. That's who he's let. I mean, what was he thinking? The bloke is a fucking log. I'm offended by his stupidity. He should have been. He should, as we speak, be like loving life, partying on the French Riviera with some like Victoria's Secret models, and instead he's fucking miserable, trapped in a house with his ugly ginger children and his fucked up mental wife. You have to pity the fool. You have to pity him.
But the thing is, like, you know, he had good-looking girlfriends. Cressida Bona's beautiful woman. I mean, she was gorgeous. Chelsea, good-looking girl, you know. And the thing is that smart women who, because I don't think Meghan is that smart. I think she's cunning and needy and desperate, but she saw a target and she acquired it. But women like Cressida and Chelsea, they wouldn't put up with this shit.
No, probably not.
And apparently he did hit on, I heard a rumor that he actually did hook up with Britney Spears. And then apparently she went mental. I don't know. She was after him. And I mean, this is way, way back there because he loved blondes, you know. So I'm very surprised about his choice of Meghan Markle.
Prince Harry hooked up with Britney Spears. See, that is like, and she's sort of like my era sex symbol, right? Like I don't know, when I was probably about 18 or 19 or something when she first had a hit. She was gorgeous. He's gone up in my estimation if he had to go with Britney Spears.
Yeah, apparently they had a thing, and she went to London to see him, but he didn't want to have anything to do with her.
Oh my God! I mean, so he has got to put
after Rihanna.
So maybe he is Prince Charles's son after all, because he's also got appalling taste in women, right? Prince Charles went from Diana to fucking the horse-faced woman, and Prince Harry went from Britney Spears to Meghan fucking Shaft a lot. Like, I mean, they've both got appalling taste in women. Yeah. William's the only one who's got half an ounce of sense when it comes to birth.
Yeah, because Catherine is gorgeous. But I was gonna say, like, you know, it's like I don't know if it's because they wouldn't go along with him once they got to know him. And Meghan would, because, you know, she got the stuff that
she's obsessed with power. Yeah, maybe the other girls actually wanted a normal husband that's not a complete sausage. And Meghan's just obsessed with power. So maybe that's why.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
it is going to
plausible.
be very interesting to see what happens. So when are you on ban, Matt?
Well, when did I get through off? Wednesday, so I guess I'll be able to stream again on Wednesday next week. Unless they do what the last time they went through all my back catalogue and started just picking stuff, and then they added weeks onto me because they found something from like 6 months earlier and said, "Oh yeah, this was a bit problematic as well." Like, sometimes they just have a coat over all my old stuff and look for any excuse
I
to
will
bin
send
me.
you. I will send you the link of the team that helps me with that because, believe it or not, I do get a lot of flags on my videos, but they managed to get it back on. There's one that they couldn't get back on, which was Oprah's and Mel Gibson's, but then I had to do another one. And I'm glad because it got over 500,000 views and counting. So I'm very glad about that. But they and that's only because I said this is a problematic video. Had I not said that, then I wouldn't have admitted that there were issues in the videos. They would have had a better way to argue the case because they have a team in YouTube. Because people, believe it or not, it is hard being. I really wish Elon Musk would buy YouTube.
I told you he hasn't got the money, has he? Twitter's a much, much, much smaller organization. YouTube's owned by Google. Google's probably the single, I would guess Google's probably the single most highly valued company in the world. I think Google's probably even worth more than like Monsanto or fucking Microsoft or anything. I mean, you would need $1 trillion to buy Google. I don't know how much it's valued at, but
no, but yeah, YouTube, just YouTube. Can't he just buy YouTube?
No, YouTube's owned body and soul by Google. Alphabet is the parent company. So tragically, we are stuck with it. The only way we're going to get rid of YouTube is if we keep slowly trying to migrate people to Rumble, but it's just not big enough. YouTube have had 20 years to build up the user base, so we're sort of stuck with YouTube for the minute. But yeah, I mean, I've been praying for
doing more stuff in Rumble. I followed you on Rumble and I saw your video there. It's absolutely fine. I'm going to follow you in Rumble, and I'm going to start putting my Rumble links, because it is getting scarier, like with the censorship, it's unbelievable. It's really getting bad,
Even Russell Brand's done a lot of trying to help out. Russell Brand's done good. He always does exclusive Rumble only content. And he's been really pushing it because that needs to happen. I think in the long term, we have to migrate off YouTube. And it's really, really difficult, especially as a creator, because there just isn't enough people on the other platforms. It sort of saps your will to do it, because I post something on Rumble, it'll get 300 views. Whereas you do a good one on YouTube, you get 50,000. So it's difficult. But we have to force ourselves to slowly but surely migrate.
Because it's free, guys. Going into YouTube, Rumble is just like YouTube is free.
Yeah. But it's a chicken and egg problem. YouTube's just too big. But YouTube are a really, really, really shocking platform. Like hypocritical, liars. They just lie. Like the things they send you. Like I said, they'll allow Owen Jones to show whatever he wants. If you walk, you're allowed to put whatever videos you want up. People like me, they'll ban you for nothing and say, "Oh yeah, this contradicted our policies." And you're like, "What policy?" And then they just don't send you a response. They're really, really, really manipulative and dishonest, YouTube. So tragically, no one's got the money to buy them, but we can hopefully slowly but surely migrate away and eventually
to Rumble. So please go. I'm gonna go, but and Matt too. But please go to Matt's and Matt. We have to do another live soon next week. If you don't get on next week, then we'll do another live and you can choose the topic. So I can advertise that we can do it here. I don't give a fuck. But
all right. Well, I've put a link to my YouTube channel. I mean,
please. I'll put a link under the video description and I'll put it on the pinned comment so you can please go subscribe to Matt's channel and watch.
Thanks for having me as usual, and I'll
but can people see your videos right now, or are they banned? All of them banned?
Not all of them. I think you can see the one I made a week ago. Fat Con. Yeah, that was a funny one. That's linked to what we're talking about in it.
Because I love watching. I miss all your lives because I never get notified in spite of having the notification bell. But please go check out Matt's channel. Not only check it, subscribe, damn it, and let's show him some love. Let me know by Wednesday if you're not on, so we can do a live and you can pick the topics and we can do it here. And I'll make you an admin on my stream thing, so we can do the picture thingies. We can do the topics you want. Okay.
Well, so we can show everyone Lizzo.
Oh my God, what a horrible thing! I didn't know about the banana.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sorry for spoiling your day, telling you about that one.
Oh. Can you imagine watching that banana guy?
Oh my God! Can you? It's pop music as well. Can you imagine if you took the kids? Like, come on, kids, go and see your favorite pop star. What the fuck? Pulls out the bananas. You'd be like, yeah, that is. I think I'd rather take the kids to see ISIS than fucking Lizzo at this point.
That's actually quite horrible. I didn't know that. Yeah. But anyways, thanks for coming, Matt.
Yeah,
and
cheers.
We'll see you next week. And go subscribe to Matt's channels. Damn it. He deserves it.
See you, Paula.
Bye-bye, sweetie. Bye. Guys, please go subscribe at my channels. We need to get him out of that algorithm, because the more subscriber he has, the better he does, and it's going to be harder to ban. So please go subscribe to his channel. Let's get his channel to 50,000 subscribers. We can do it, okay? And then I'll see my members tomorrow. My members live is going to be kick-ass tomorrow. You know which phone numbers to call and use. I'm sure you're going to want to call tomorrow. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you, my members, tomorrow. And I'll have a very, very eye-opening video about Meghan Markle and Harry. And yeah, it is not good, guys. It is not good. So thank you very much for watching. Watch my video today, Siri saying goodbye. Watch the video I posted today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Ragnar, also go to Ragnar's channel and make it grow. Yes, I was just gonna thank you, Ragnar. Go to Ragnar's Iron Spear channel and make it grow. He also does lives with Matt. They have a very interesting channel, so do support him. Let's make him get to 10,000. Are you at 10,000, Ragnar? Let me know if you're at 10,000. If not, let's go get him to 20,000, and let's get Matt to 50,000. It's free to subscribe, okay? So thank you very much, guys, for joining. Siri? Sí, a vos te estoy llamando una bandida. Siri says goodbye. So thank you very much, and buenas tardes. I'm going to speak Argentinian like Meghan Markle says. Buenas tardes. Bye-bye, guys.